Hey y'all, Shannon, Team Whitetail Stalker, and got a friend's bow here today, and I'm going to install a precision peep on for him. And we're going to take the old peep off and put the new precision peeps on. And I've seen a few posts on Facebook, and used to see those come in the shop. The string would be breaking right at the peep sight, and the people are quick to say that the peep sight is what cut the string. And I mean, there are cases where I guess that could happen, but I think more times than not, there's a problem with the string, not so much the peep sight. Installation, blade gets close to it, nicks it. If you get too much heat close to it, it can fray it. You'll start seeing these burrs and frays around the peep sight. It'll even, some of the material will start turning white. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to show you how I install a peep sight. And I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm just saying this is how I do it, and it works for me. There's many different ways to do this, and there's many right ways to do this. And I'm not saying that anybody's wrong, and I'm not saying that it's my way or the highway type thing. I'm just showing you how I do it, and it works for me. And I've never had a string break at the peep sight. I've never had any issues there at all. And I can tell you, talking with the folks at Precision Peep, they go above and beyond to make sure the edges on this peep sight are rounded and machined the proper way, so there's no sharp edges. It's not going to cut your string. So there's no issue there with the peep sight. With that being said, it never hurts to examine the peep sight, look at it before you put it in. Just make sure your string's clean and it's got no any debris in it. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to put the precision peep in. I'm going to zoom in close, and you'll be able to see how I do it. All right. First thing we need to do is we need to get this peep sight off here. So most people want to do is grab your handy dandy razor knife and start cutting on there. In my opinion, if you're doing that, you're wrong. So let me show you how to do this. A couple of easy ways to do it. Get in there and start working that serving back and forth with your fingers. Just push it in, pull it out like that. Just work it back and forth just a little bit. And you'll start seeing it separate. And you'll start getting those strands to separate. When it was tied in there, most people use a whip loop when they tie that in. But you'll get it separated if you work it a little bit. And see how I got it opened up here? And kind of open that up. And if you pull it, one of those ends will come loose. And you get that end loose, and then all you have to do is unwrap it, just like this. It'll come off, I promise you. Some are tighter than others, but there you go, just like that. And you just work it. You got to pull it, push it, work them ends, and it'll come apart. See, it's starting to separate there. There's the tag end on it. And it's starting to come off, and just keep working that thing back and forth, and it'll loosen up and it'll open up. I mean, it might take you a minute, but by doing this, you're not having to get a blade anywhere near this string material, and that's going to cause you to have a bad day. So just work this up. Just work on this, get it separated here. And if it won't let loose, I'll show you what to do. You find that tag end right here. Get a pair of pliers that looks like this. See that right there? And then find that tag end and grab that end off there and just cut that with those pliers. And shorten that up, and then it'll come out. And eventually it'll work itself loose. There you go. Look at there. Got it loose. So unwrap that, get that string off. Look at that, just like that. Easy. Didn't use any blades, didn't use any tools. I got all the serving off of it. I didn't hurt the string any at all. So once you do that, you get your bow, get a little bit of pressure on your bow press. What I like to do is I'll kind of mark it. You know, you can kind of see where that peep sight goes. So I'll just pull it out. Real easy, just let it lay. Grab our new precision peep. And you'll see how by the slots which way it's going to go in. And then we're just going to slip that in and just take a look at it real quick. Make sure you put your finger in there, see if there's any sharp edges on there. Take a Q-tip, run on the edge there. If it snags on something, you know you got an edge on it. I can tell you these precision peeps are extra quality control on them, so they're not going to have a burr or a snag on them. Something else too that I like to do on these is separate that string a little bit. I mean, the string's got twist in it. I like to keep that string twisted, the direction it's twisted, and I like to keep it round and not flattened out. You get it flat, and I think it loses its rigidity. And I keep those strands wrapped and keep them. And I like to, if you got a two-color string, you can tell the difference between the two strands, a black strand and a brown strand. That's easy to see. If you got a single color strand, you'll be able to tell where half and half is. And I like to keep it as much on one side as I do the other, and I'll keep them strings like that. So there, we've put the Peep in. Now, to tie this in, again, there's many ways to do this. There's not hardly any wrong ways to do it, other than the fact that you just don't tie it at all. But here's the way I like to do things. I take my serving and put it around the Peep. I'm going to reduce put a little tension back on the string. It's going to make it easier to tie. If you leave your string loose and you press, it's going to be flopping all over the place. So there's a groove that runs all the way around the Peep sight. So what I do is go around. You might have to adjust until you get it tight, but just overhand knot, just like that. Pull it in there. I'll bring it around again, just like this. Hopefully you can see this. Overhand knot again a second time. Might have to line that up on there. Make sure it's in the groove that goes around the Peep sight. And sometimes it's little cantankerous. You can get it on there. And I've slipped off back here. Just make sure it's in that groove all the way around twice. All right. Tighten that sucker down like that. Now you got these two tag ends here. What do you do with those? Well, what I like to do is I like to run mine up through the bottom or the top. You can go either way. You can go either direction. Up through the top or up through the bottom. If you go through the bottom on this one, see I went, show you that again. All right, now it's over here on the side. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go through the bottom to the top. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to go down through the top to the bottom like this. And then what I'm going to do is then go with another knot on the side here. Now what I've done is I have tied around the Peep sight into the string so it's not going to come flying out when you shoot. And then I have just tied the Peep sight to one of these strands so it doesn't slide up and down on the string. So, and then I'm going to bring it over here and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Give me a little knot. And if I go top to bottom, take the other one, bottom to top, just like that. Bring them together and tie it in. Voila. And then I'm going to double knot that one. Yeah, that looks there. Yeah, that is. And then I'm going to double tie that like this. All right, now I got these two tag ends. What do you do with those? Razor knife? No. If I can find the lighter, cigarette lighter? No. Not. You get too much heat near that string, you're going to fray those strands, and then you're going to have problems. You get the blade near it, you're going to fray them. Again, the handy dandy pliers, the little cutters, work just perfect. You get in there, make sure your knot's good and tight. I don't like to use a blade. If you're confident in your ability, use a blade. Just don't get near the string. Just cut those off. Lift a little bit on that one. That's all right. And then what we're going to do is take those. I'm going to get those tag ends on there. Get that twisted up there. I like to give them a twist after you get them. Just get them together and get them tight. Bow wax. A little bit of wax. Lay them tag ends down on top of that Peep sight, down in that groove. little wax on there. It'll hold that serving thread down in there. You don't have to burn it. You don't have to get any heat near your bowstring. You put that down in there and it'll, I'm telling you, it'll last forever. It's not coming out. See? And you've got your peep sight tied in, and you didn't have to get a blade near it. You didn't have to get a flame near it. So, and I don't put any serving on top and bottom because I've tied around the peep sight and I've tied it in, and then I've tied it to each side with my knot like that. So in my opinion, it's not necessary to put this top and bottom. I know a lot of guys want to cinch that thing up and get it right there as tight as they can, and that's fine. I'm not saying that's wrong. Like I said a while ago, there's a lot of ways to do it. That's just my way right there, and it works for me. So maybe I've simplified it for you just a little bit, maybe. Hopefully you can get yourself a precision peep and get to shooting. All right, thanks for watching.